Good morning, good morning, good morning, my beautiful family of light. Today I have a message of healing and light that I hope might help my other star seeds and light workers and beings of light to accept who they are and to love who they are. Because first and foremost, the most important thing that I say today is I love you. I love you for who you are. I love you for being you and for sharing your light with this planet to illuminate a new consciousness that may evolve humanity into a more beautiful state of being. One of the most important things to understand right now for many of my star seeds and light workers is that right now is a very turbulent time for many of us, and that many of us are not seeing our lights at this time, for there are many new energies entering our planet right now to help this shift of consciousness to occur. But some of us are not understanding these energies or living fully in these energies. For these energies are causing havoc in our beings because we are not living and loving our true selves every single day. We are not living for our purpose anymore. We're not being the being of light that we came here to be. All of us hold good within our heart, but we all have the ability to make mistakes. For mistakes are lessons in learning how to be your true self. And there is nothing wrong with that. The most important thing that we can do right now is to learn to live without judgment. Judgment of others, judgment of things, judgment of what we do not have or what we do have. But most importantly, judgment of ourselves. Judgment of not feeling that we are great beings of light and that we have a purpose here to change humanity. For the greatest gift that each of us holds within our being is within each of us. It is not something that we hold on the exterior of our beings. For our true light comes from within our hearts. That is where we can communicate with true love and compassion. Our hearts are our greatest gifts of understanding ourselves. So to accept these new energies and to change your vibrations, you must focus inward in being the being of light that you know that you are. Living without judgment every single day. Accepting yourself for who you are. Waking up and telling yourself, I am a great being of light. I am worthy of greatness. I love who I am and being who I am. And I would not want to be anything different than who I am. For I am greatness. For I am love. And for I am light. Our hearts hold the tools to change our vibrations. But we must use our consciousness and our mind to be aware of our hearts and understand the light that is held within them. I started reading this new book that I personally believe, if you are a star seed and a light worker, you should definitely read this book. Boopy doopy boopy doo, boopy doopy doo. This book, I'm only a few pages in so far, about 50, and it has so illuminated the truth of who I am. For in many times we identify incorrectly with who we are, in using I, me, my, and the judgments around us of what we believe to be ours. For we are taught from a very young age what to believe is ours, and to connect our being of I with those things. But we must learn to not connect our being with things that do not belong to us. We must learn to fully connect within. This is the little chapter that I thought was really important for others to hear. Blah, blah, blah. Blee, blee, blee. It is important to realize, however, that fear, greed, and the desire for power are not dysfunction that we are speaking of, but are themselves created by the dysfunction, which is a deep-seated collective delusion that lies within the mind of each human being. A number of spiritual teachings tell us to let go of fear and desire, but those spiritual practices are usually unsuccessful. They haven't gone to the root of dysfunction. Fear, greed, and desire for power are not the ultimate causal factors. Trying to become a good or better human being sounds like a condemnable and high-minded thing to do. Yet, in its endeavor, you cannot ultimately succeed unless there is a shift in consciousness. This is because it is still part of the same dysfunction, a more subtlete and rarefied form of self-enhancement, of desire for more and strengthening of one's conceptual identity, one's self-image. You do not become good by trying to be good, but by finding the goodness that is already within you and allowing that goodness to emerge. But it can only emerge if something fundamental changes in your state of consciousness. Wow. Beautiful. The reality is, the goodness is within you and has always been within you, to love and to show your heart to others fully. But in these times, and in many times in human existence, we have fallen so far away from this truth and understanding the goodness that already lies within each of us. The goodness that is our hearts, the love that is our hearts, the compassion that is our hearts. We live in a society that tells us not to feel and not to sense your emotions. But your greatest gift as a great being of light is to sense and feel your emotions and to love who you are. That is one of the greatest gifts that we are not taught. That these feelings help us to understand who we are. But most and foremost, we must be aware of them. We must be aware of awareness. We must see it and be aware of the light that we are bringing into the universe. So I ask you, please, love yourself. Be yourself. Shine your light for others to see, so they might see the great being of light that you are, and the compassion that lies within each of us to change this reality to something more beautiful. Hey, 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 ya, na, hey, ya, na. Hey, 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 ya, na, ya, no, ya, no, ya, no, na. Love and light be with you. Signing off, Gania.